Mr. Owl, how many spells does it take to get an Arclight Phoenix back from the graveyard? A good question. Let's find out. A 1, a 2. Alright, what is up my friends? Welcome to the Monday video here on CoolStuffInc.com. Playing some Historic today, and we're playing some Burbs. But a very interesting version of Burbs. Arclight Phoenix, of course, just a really good card, honestly. Was a Scourge of Modern until Faithless Looting got banned, and now a major player here in Historic. And everything looks sort of normal here, you know, at first glance. We've got Dragon Rage Channeler, obviously just an insanely good card. Sprite Dragon, Arclight, Crackling Drake. Kind of looks like your usual blue-red Phoenix stuff. You know, one of the better decks in Historic for sure. But when you start to look at the lands of a sideboard, things look pretty interesting. There's some white lands in here. Sacred Foundry, Inspiring Vantage, and Hallowed Fountain. A couple main deck white cards in Faithful Mending to give a little extra Faithless Looting action, of course. Draw 2, discard 2, gain 2 life. Rip apart as well. But the real interesting thing here is in the sideboard. I want to note real fast, this deck is from John Wenger. Came in 11th place at the Hooglandia Open last weekend. I did coverage for that, and deck looks super good. Just missed the final elimination rounds. And the real juke here is the sideboard. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, one of the best control cards in the format. Now, one of the things you got to do when you're playing a deck like this is to listen to your system messages. Is to be aware that Graveyard Hate is going to be very, very good against you. You know, Arclight Phoenix, Dragon Rage Channeler, Rest in Peace comes down, and your main ways to win are going to be Crackling Drake and Sprite Dragon. So having a sort of plan B against decks that are bringing Graveyard Hate, as well as a plan B in general, is a great thing to have. And Teferi allows this deck to kind of morph into a little bit of a control deck in the post-sideboard games. You can play the kind of control game. We get some Dovin's Vetoes here, a few more removal spells in Justice Strike, Rip Apart, and then even one big Niv-Mizzet Parun in the sideboard as well, some Anger of the Gods. So this deck has the ability to kind of shift and kind of play the sideboard juke and be a control deck post-board, or any amount in between a Phoenix deck and control deck. It can be a little more controlling, a lot more controlling. These Crackling Drakes here also very good. So it can be a Jeskai control deck post-sideboards, can stay a Phoenix deck. So nice little juke here, super cool, while also gaining some value from some main deck cards as well. So deck looks super cool. I'm pumped to play it. First, quick word from our sponsor at CoolStuffInc.com.
CoolStuffInc is proud to sponsor Jim Davis. We offer great deals on card games, tabletop RPGs, board games, and more. Get a free token featuring Jim Davis and take 5% off your next order if you use the code JIM5 at checkout. CoolStuffInc.com. Cool stuff in stock.
All right, round one. Let's rock and roll. We'll be on the play. Thank you very much. Our opponent's playing Lurrus of a Dream Den. And our hand is pretty good. Spirebluff Vantage, Mountain, Iteration, Consider. Pretty good. We can take this. We can take this. Fire up a Spirebluff Canal and say go. And rock and roll. We got Sprite Dragon into Iteration. We're going to see a Supplier. So it looks like it's going to be a probably an Arcanist deck. Supplier's going to mill over land, claim the Firstborn. Alright, a little sacrifice action. Fire off Consider. End step. We keep this Iteration. So you have turn 2 Sprite Dragon, turn 3 Iteration, turn 4 Iteration possibly. Gotta keep this. Card's good. They're a Thoughtseize deck also. They can easily Thoughtseize next turn. Play Advantage. Fire up Dragon. Attack for 1. This card's really, really good. It's like a really good card. Super prowess. Inkster's a Kozilek. So now I'm very, very happy we kept that extra Iteration. That played around Thoughtseize and Inquisition. Gonna be a grindier game probably. They play Passage. Attack for 1. Great. Great for us here. So let's fire up Iteration, see what turns up. Iteration, Grove a Dragon. We see Unholy Heat, Consider, and Land. So I think pretty easy here. We're going to put the Heat into our hand. We're going to put the Land into our library. And the Consider into exile. And then just pop up a land here and cast the Consider immediately. Nice 2 for 1. Grow our Sprite Dragon. Rolled up here pretty well. And opt. Opt could be anything. Could even be an opt. There's a chance we just cast Arclight Phoenix next turn. I think Opt is better than a random card. So we'll keep the Opt. And we'll attack for 3. Actually with a Sprite Dragon in play, of course. Just an extra counter on the Sprite Dragon. Get it for 3 and say go. And again, we might just cast Arclight next turn. You know, it's going to be kind of a grindier game. Or we'll discard it the Croxa. Even better. Even better. So that is the ideal scenario. Kind of an odd choice for them because they know we have the Arclight in our hand. So they're just like putting it there for us for basically free. I'd rather return it than cast it, but I was almost okay casting it. We draw Maximize Velocity, kind of a cute one-of here. Very good Crackling Drake. Creature gets +1/+0 and haste on a turn. We're gonna start by playing some cantrips here. So let's start with a Consider off of the white land. Put a counter on Sprite Dragon. Top card's Faithless Looting. This would give us a few more shots at more Arclights, as well as a proactive 1-mana spell to cast without casting Heat or Velocity. I like this. We're going to keep this. And we're going to cast Looting. I should opt it first. That was stupid. Whatever. I wish I could see it. Yeah, bad sequencing. I should have cast the opt first to look for more Phoenixes, but whatever. Hand was pretty good, and I discarded Croxa. So they are a graveyard deck in and of themselves, so it's harder for them to have good graveyard hate. And Teferi, they're probably pretty good at pressuring Teferi, honestly, so I don't think we're going to go too hard on Teferi. Crackling Drake does seem pretty sweet, though. Kind of hard for them to kill. I would say that I'm uninterested in Maximize Velocity. And I'm uninterested in probably, like, even Mending is, like, a little iffy. Because, like, they're going to, like, discard spell us a lot. This is just card disadvantage. Definitely would like to bring in, I think, a Rip Apart, which can kill Dreadhorde Arcanist. Might also be interested in bringing in Justice Strike to kill Croxa. We feel like killing Croxa is an important part of the equation. Flameless Bolt's okay. Heat kills Croxa too, I guess. Is that right? Yeah, that's fun. So let's bring in the Rip Apart. Could also have like Leyline in theory or something like that as far as graveyard hate goes. And then let's shade that on Mendings. And just bring in more Crackling Drake. Just a really good grindy card. Kind of hard for them to kill. And just big card advantage. I was looking for a nice 2-for-1s here. They're going to have a lot of discard and things like that. So I think I'm happy here. Flameless Bolt is certainly interesting. Exiling a card like such a Supplier or Young Pyromancer is good in the face of possible Claim to Fame and Lurrus. Maybe we shave a Heat and bring in a Flameless Bolt. Rip Apart here is a real concession to Arcanist 3 toughness, but I think I'm pretty happy here. I think I'm pretty happy. We're pretty grindy. And we'll see what their build looks like for Game 2. We can always reevaluate as far as bringing in Teferis or doing things like that. It was a pretty good hand for us. It is amusing how Croxa is almost like a benefit for us too. Alright, so that's a one-lander. If this was a blue source, we could keep with Consider and Double Iteration, but we got a mulligan with hand, unfortunately, so shit the mulligan. Going to 5. You got a full house here, though. Play a little poker, right? Got a 5. Alright, so reasonable 5 here. We're going to keep this. We're going to ship definitely at least 1 land. It's probably just 2 lands, honestly. We should have turn 2 dragon, turn 3 iteration. Yeah, just 2 lands, I think. Iteration can find lands, and, like, we need spells, you know. This is a 2-drop, a 3-drop, and a 4-drop, and 2 lands. This helps to find lands, and we're on the draw. If they have some discard spells, it sucks, but if we keep lands, it's even worse. So, no discard spell, sure. Let's play Fountain tapped. We have nothing again. So, pretty clear that our Sprite Dragon is going to die here, but oh, their Lurrus is gone. That means they probably have ley lines, which is important to note for Game 3. But really that we're doing nothing this turn, and it's not like we can play Heat to kill something most likely, so just play Sprite Dragon, whatever. Let him cast the removal spell. Fatal Push is so cheap that, like, whatever, sure. If there are only cards that killed it cost 2, maybe we consider otherwise, but alright, so a couple Phoenixes here. We're going to Iteration and try to find a land, and if we don't, we're in big trouble. Alright, so we'll put a second Iteration in our hand. Phoenix to deck, Steam Vents to side. Kind of sucks to dump a Phoenix. One of the big things about playing Phoenix decks is you really just want to find your Phoenixes. You almost always want to keep them, but we already have 2. And we need lands, and we need the iteration to find more lands too, so... They play Agadine tapped and just say go. We draw another iteration. Sure. Kind of a weird game so far. Their hand seems very reactive. 2 lands to consider. It's pretty good. Put consider to our hand. We go bang and bang. We play the Vantage. And we just say go. Fire up consider. Valky, God of Lies. Sure. I mean, this can obviously take one of our creatures, but they can't really use it. We have heat to kill it. If I were to kill this in response, I believe we wouldn't reveal our hand. Maybe just kill it, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to kill it. See the big village rights something here? No. Right. We do reveal our hand. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one, but... Alright, Sprite Dragon's here. That's actually a pretty good draw, because I get Sprite Dragon and Iteration. It's probably... Alright, I guess their hand was bad. We take those. We take those. 1-0. Alright, round 2. Teferi versus Karn on the play. That is about as awkward as a hand can get in this deck. For multiple reasons, obviously. No red source to cast our red spells. And then all creatures, no spells. None of our creatures do anything unless you're casting spells. So, unfortunately, this is going to be a 2-land, 5-spell mulligan, which is a pretty rare sight in this deck. But just can't really keep this. You know, give me 1 consider, 1 opt, 1 something to build towards we can keep, but this is not going to do it. So, 1 mulligan here. Well, I asked for 1 opt, and there it is, I guess. So, we're going to keep this. This is a spot where, like I was saying, keeping the Phoenix is really important. We're going to keep this and ship Crackling Drake. It's too clunky. And we have a Looting and Arclight, which is great. Iteration 2, so we got to find a land off this opt. But if we do, we're going places. Phyrexian Tower, Witch's Oven. Sure. Opt me. Dragon goes to the bottom. Need a land, folks. That is the land. There it is. And a Crackling Drake. So now, we kind of want to wait on Looting. We would love to cast Looting the turn we bring the Phoenixes back, because it's a 1-mana spell. But we really need a 3rd land here. And probably casting Iteration next turn anyway. So, play the land, play the Looting. Oop, that's the wrong one. Can't cast that one. Play the Looting. And we draw a land. Sure. Discard Phoenix. And now we're in pretty good shape, honestly. From 1 land to 4. Crackling Drake waiting in the wings. And Iteration ready to go next turn. It's going to be Jund food deck. They've got their pieces in play, but nothing else going on. We draw another Vantage. Kind of lame, honestly. But we'll play Iteration here. There could be an argument towards just playing Vantage and flashing back Looting. Giving that if we play Iteration now and hit a land, these 2 will come and tap no matter what. Definitely want to cast the Crackling Drake next turn, almost regardless. It's Iteration here, I think. I think land Looting is just like, yeah. We can definitely we can also hit like a 1-drop to play, Dragon Rage Channeler, etc., etc. So we hit Rip Apart, Unholy Heat, Hallowed Fountain. Awkward because we can't cast either of these spells. And taking the land means that we can't use that either. So pretty awkward iteration here. Very reactive cards. It sucks because we would love to cast Rip Apart right now because it's very good against both things that have been played, but we just can't. Put that in our hand. And I guess we'll just keep the Hallowed Fountain. So Unholy Heat into our library. Hallowed Fountain to the side. Playing this tap means these are going to be tapped no matter what, but it's just not going to take the value. So not ideal. Not ideal for sure. Their hand's been a little slow. A little slow. They're not doing too much. Okay. Another fast land, unfortunately. Yeah, we're just going to fire up Crackling Drake here. They can't even sack the food and draw off Trail of Crumbs. Their hand's really, really slow. Not sure what Jund plays for removal. If they have Fatal Push, they couldn't even cast it because their mana's so awkward too. Let's just cast Crackling Drake. So take 2. Cast Drake. Just like card advantage. Just a great card. Just a great card, honestly. Huge threat. Draws a card. Kind of hard to kill. 4 toughness. Draw Channeler. Sure. So next turn could be Channeler, rip apart tap land. So have 2 Phoenixes in the bin, so you need to be aware of that. Flashing back looting is a possible path to getting those back. They get a Swamp off their passage, and this is a turn where they can probably unlock their hand a bit. There's Cauldron Familiar, so they have the full collection of cards on. Cauldron Familiar and Oven and Trail of Crumbs. Another Trail of Crumbs. So if the game goes kind of long, they have a lot of action, but it's our job to kill them. Another Phoenix. Actually a pretty good draw, because that means we flash back looting later. We can do some pretty good work with that. We're going to Channeler here and rip apart. Kill the Oven so they can't keep Familiaring. Get it for 4, have 2 threats in play, and then start looking for more spells to get that looting back. Playing a tap land here makes us have more mana next turn as well, so let's play Channeler. Play rip apart. I want to guess this now, right? Yeah. If they have a Fatal Push, they could sack their Familiar, I suppose, to Fatal Push with the Phyrexian Tower. They could just do that anyway, so yeah, we just kill this now, because then we get to end up getting further point. So kill this, Surveil. Trying to find any 1-mana spell here. Alright, sack the cat. Bring it back. Do the thing. Alright, so they're going to activate Trail of Crumbs. So they find a Mayhem Devil. That's pretty good. But now with no Oven, it's not nearly as bad. Our top card's a Channeler. I don't really want to draw that. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to bin that. Kill that. We play another land here. Just get it for 4. So we have big potential for next turn, obviously. We can flash back looting, discard a Phoenix, and we have a bunch of mana in play to play 2 more spells, hopefully. But we will see. Channeler probably dead here to this Mayhem Devil. But without the Oven, they're lacking in a lot of nimbleness. They could Tower away the Familiar. They can kill some stuff here. Tower away the Familiar, makes you mana, ping something. Use the mana to crack a food, ping something. Pay 1 with Trail of Crumbs. They're going to Woe Strider also. Okay. They could take some shots here. But I think drawing a way to kill Mayhem Devil is going to be a pretty important one. Yeah, I think Crackling Drake gets to go nuts here, though. We draw another land. Alright, we got to fire up the looting here. I'm not super thrilled about this, but... And we're going to keep up... Could draw... Yeah, this is fine. Alright, flashback looting. We need some spells here. We draw Finale of Promise and Sprite Dragon. We have no untapped land, though. Ugh. That is gross. The Finale could have done it this turn. Unfortunately, it will not. We will discard the Phoenix and a land. Now we can play Sprite Dragon, and they would just sack a goat to kill it, which kind of stinks. So probably not even worth doing. I think it's like a food also. We could like die next turn, honestly. However scary that is. Our next turn is going to be great. As far as flashing back spells and stuff like that with Finale and getting back all our Phoenixes, but I almost think we just play with Sprite Dragon. Just like give him something else to shoot at kind of thing. Sack 1, sack 1. Yeah. So 1 less resource to have to try and kill us or kill my Crackling Drake, so let's attack. Yep. Rip part was super clutch there. With the Oven in play, we'd probably already be dead. Alright, they top their card. That's not ideal for us. Next turn we get to Finale, targeting Rip Apart. And like Opt or something. Ravenous Squirrel too. Alright, things are about to get really nasty. Believe they can kill my Drake here. Obviously, once they get all their stuff in play, their engine's pretty unbeatable. Alright, they found an oven too. Yeah, I think we're dead. I think we're dead. Our hand was just too crappy. We just couldn't be. Their hand was bad too. We just couldn't penalize them for our other hand being crappy. We just drew a lot of lands. We couldn't find the spells early. And now they just had basically everything going. Now they have oven plus familiar plus innkeeper plus mayhem devil. Yeah, we just have actual everything now. Even the Phoenixes can't cheese them out because they're gaining life off Innkeeper now. And then everything else. Should probably just concede, but bring it back. We have no... We could draw like a looting in the 4th Phoenix or something like that. I don't even know what we could draw, honestly. I don't think there's any outs anymore. I guess Finale of Promise can kill the Mayhem Devil, so they can, consider. Okay, let's start there. Consider our options. Bin a land. A lot of lands. A lot of lands. Draw Unholy Heat. That's not bad. Rabbit of Squirrel is basically unkillable now, so it really just comes down to, can we actually kill them this turn? And I don't think that's possible. None of our burn spells go face. Even if we get all 4 Phoenixes and think we're dead. Yeah, we're trying to go to game 2 here. We can't kill the Squirrel because they can stack 2 things and make it a 6/6. Or 7/7, I mean. We're already at 8. We're already, like, almost dead on board. So, yeah, we're dead. All right. So, unfortunate game for us that we just, like, couldn't piece things together early enough. Just kind of had a lot of lands. And they were all tap lands, too. But we're going to sideboard here. We're going to bring in Flame Blessed Bolt. Bring in... I don't think we want Teferis against them. I think you want our Crackling Drakes. Our Rip Apart. I think we can shave down on Velocity. Again, I'm not, like, thrilled with Faithful Mending. Definitely shave that on that. If we're scared of Graveyard Hate, shaving it on Finale also makes sense, too. Try and mitigate that a little bit. We do have a lot of removal spells, too. Like, the fact that Mayhem Devil was able to just kind of style on us there was a little awkward. Yeah, this all feels fine to me. Sprite Dragon and Channeler can be a little awkward in the face of Mayhem Devil, but they should be big, faster than, than that. I feel pretty good here. This is fine. Just want to keep it to the air and kill them. We're definitely the aggro deck here. If they get their game plan going, we cannot ever win. So definitely got to just kill them. I think Rip Apart's going to be pretty good. All right, on the play. It's not great, but we're going to keep just because we have Opt. 3rd Hallowed Fountain, pretty damn redundant, but ideally find ourselves a blue or a red source, and get some things. We're not a great hand. Opponent mulligans. We're shocking, saying go. Playing an outer space. Oven, sure. Opt. Don't need an island, that's for sure. Draw a channeler. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. Consider looting. I guess it goes to the ban. We can flash it back at least, but red source? No. Alright. Well, this might just be one of those games. That was a lot of looks. A lot of looks for a red source. Phyrexian Tower and an Innkeeper. And big draws here. And a Familiar. Okay. So they got most of it assembled here already. And we draw a non-red land. Sometimes, folks, you play Magic, and sometimes Magic plays you. It's part of the game. We all signed up to shuffle cards, and occasionally things don't shuffle your way. Can't be mad. That's what we signed up for. We did not sign up for a chess tournament. And they have basically anything here is game over for us. Roast Rider's good. Alright, so they gain a life, do the thing. We draw another non-red land. Alright. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It happens sometimes. Bring back Familiar. We're already at 15. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Don't think it matters anymore. I guess if we were to like draw red source, cast looting, and draw like a bunch of phoenixes, and then draw like chains them off, something like that, I don't think that matters, honestly. Because they're at 25 too. I think it's a good card. Very sneakily good card. Alright, we draw anyway. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? It happens sometimes. 1-1. 1-1. Alright. Round number 3. Better luck ahead. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. On the draw. Opponent is a masked figure. And it is fine. A little bit awkward in my lands. There are a lot of fast lands in this deck. This is one of the problems we run into where we have 3 fast lands and a Steam Vents. We want to play Steam Vents tapped on turn 1, but by doing that, we're just ensuring that one of our fast lands will always come in tapped. So we're just going to play Spirebluff Canal on turn 1, which is a little weird, but... Alright, a Triome. We drew Consider anyway, so... They play a Triome and say go. It's probably a control deck of some kind. Double Triome. Oh, okay. And we're going to fire Consider here. Look for... just look to improve our hand. You could, in theory, hold it for Phoenix or Sprite Dragon, but our entire deck is cantrips, so... Another Sprite Dragon. 4-color stuff from our opponent. I'm not really sure what they're doing over there. Could be a Niv-Mizzet deck, I suppose. I'm going to keep the threat. I don't think it's great, but... Keep Dragon. Dragon Foundry, sure. Get the Dragon train going. And now we might even just play Dragon over playing Iteration next turn. They have their own Iteration. And we're going to see a Blood Crypt. Yeah, this is just Niv-Mizzet Reborn. So, comes down to can they cast Niv-Mizzet or not. We draw Faithful Mending, which is pretty good with Phoenix. Not amazing. We're just going to dragon it up here. Send in Dragon number 2. We'll play Vantage because, again, it would come in tapped no matter what otherwise. So playing it now is better than playing Foundry tapped because Foundry can come on tap later, but can't. So a little awkward on the multi-fast land draw. A little awkward on the draw here in general, honestly. Iteration will hopefully turn up something nice for us next turn. We see a Triome. Possible Niv-Mizzet next turn. Fortunately, not the fastest of draws. They have Prismari command to kill a creature and make a treasure. We draw another Iteration. Alright, so let's start with Iteration here and see what's up. Draw our Dragon. We're going to reveal Consider, Spirebluff, and Mending. I mean, we're probably just casting Mending this turn. So I'd say we're going to put the Consider into our hand for Phoenixes. And we're going to cast Mending. So, hand, Library, Exile. Shotgun Steam Vents. Gonna cast this right now to pump our Dragon up. We're gonna draw Sprite Dragon and another land. So discard the Phoenix. And I think we're discarding a land here. In theory, next turn we have Iteration, Mending, Consider to get back Phoenix, but might not want to do that. But alright, so do that. If they have a Niv-Mizzet next turn, things get pretty ugly. 6/6 is pretty large. We are creature land source. We are Delirium. Alright, so they have Niv-Mizzet, which is pretty unideal. They hit Territorial Kavu, Thought Erasure, Cloithus, Olivia. Wow. It's pretty good. Alright. Cloithus obviously pretty good against us. Now, we have 4 Unholy Heat in our deck. We can find an Unholy Heat off of these, off Iteration, Mending, and Consider. That'd be really, really good. We're going to start by playing Iteration. Let's start there. It goes like grow our Dragon to a 6, which is pretty good too. So, start by playing Iteration. Get a look at 3 cards. Not good. Not good at all. Brick City here. Just a 3rd Sprite Dragon and 2 worthless lands. Not good at all. Not good at all. We'll put the Dragon into our hand. We'll put the Vantage away. Take the Steam Vents off to the side. We're going to cast Consider here. And hopefully find the Unholy Heat that we're looking for. This is just as many looks as Mending is, because we see 2 cards regardless, and allows us more options. Consider. Also Veto Phoenix is better too. I guess it doesn't actually matter. But another land, jeez. And we draw a Dragon Rage Channeler. Alright, so... Not ideal. Pretty bad draws, honestly. Pay 2 life here. Fire up Mending. Maybe we'll draw another Phoenix. We draw Looting and Channeler. Alright. Looting's honestly awkward because it's not really super great right now, but it's the only actual spell in our hand to get the rest of our spells going here. Double Channeler, Double Dragon. They have Olivia, Thought Erasure, Cloythus. Jeez. Ay. I think it's just that the dragons have haste, though. It might actually just be Channeler. I think it's a Channeler. And maybe the land. Dragon Looting next turn. Yeah, I think it's the land. Alright. So that resolves. Get back our single Phoenix. We're going to attack a both here, because if they want to trade, we'll take 3. And if Phoenix dies, we should get it back pretty easily anyway. I think getting it for 6 is also a pretty big game too, so I don't want them to trade with the dragon. They're going to. I guess they have Olivia to get the dragon back, but that taps them out. Maybe we can steal in with these Sprite Dragons. Not really sure, honestly. I'd say our draws have been a little subpar. Olivia bringing back Niv-Mizzet. That is something. They're going to Thought Erasure, though. And our hand's a little ugly, so... We have Cloythus, Olivia, and 5 other cards. Big tank here. I can see them taking the Looting, honestly. The rest of our hand is just all creatures. And they're going to take the Crackling Drake, sure. Mill a land. Or bin a land. Take Crackling Drake. And they have Olivia, Cloythus, and a bunch of cards. So play Cloythus. Okay. Unless they have, like, Fatal Push here, we could, like, put together a pretty good turn, honestly. Dragon, Looting. Cheap spell of some kind. Alright. They'd be getting priority, so they probably have a push again. That's pretty ideal. Fire up Looting. Pump some stuff up. Okay. Let's see here. We've got a couple instants, couple lands, couple creatures, couple sorceries. So Cloythus can't take us off. We could like keep one Channeler and one land to cast a Channeler and have more threats next turn. I kind of like that actually. I think we need to kill them like this turn or next turn, or we just lose. They're probably gonna push something. Yeah. All right. So send him a Clowns. Might just push the Arclight, honestly, because they can eat it with Cloythus. It's going to be pretty hard to win this game, but there might be an avenue to cheese them out here. Man, double Fatal Push. It's great. Going to kill Dragon, not the Phoenix. All right. Kind of an interesting choice, honestly. I mean, Cloythus could have just eaten the Phoenix. All right. We're all in. We're all in. Cloythus has to... exile a non-land to gain some life. I'll be targeted the Looting, sure. Still have our Mendings. They have Olivia, and they have 6 mana. It does feel fortunate that we're even in this game, honestly. And they're thinking. They're thinking here. Play Steam Vents. Olivia, of course, brings back the Niv-Mizzet, but it is tapped and attacking. This is going to be a defensive Olivia. Oh, please be a defense. Oh, I'd love to see that. You'd love to see that. All right, let's fire up some Mendings here. Maybe we can steal this game. We find a Unholy Heat. The game's over, I think. Yeah, it is over. So this is actually incredible that we're in this game. So we get our Surveil and our Mending. Bin the land. Draw 2. Draw Arclight and Sacred Foundry. Alright, that's actually not that bad. Because then I can flashback this Mending and so you still have shots at it. So discard those 2. Still got shots. Still got shots. Here we go. Big one. I guess I can't play. Well, there's the heat. That actually doesn't work, though. Because I can't keep the land and the heat. Sure. So we're going to keep it. That's awkward. Discard for 2 lands. Now we attack with everything. They probably block this and they go to 1. They go back to 3. Alright, so they go to 1. Pretty awkward. Could have ordered those cards a little better, I suppose. They exploit this back to 3. The problem is now they can Olivia and hit Niv-Mizzet and then hit, use all the cards they draw to kill us. Yeah, we're probably dead here. Probably just going to fall a hair short. Niv-Mizzet will reveal Iteration, Edgar, Prismari Command, Lightning. Yeah, the game's over. Alright. The Helix and the Prismari Command should probably do it. I guess they have no way to actually kill this Sprite Dragon, right? So they get Edgar, Prismari Command, Lightning Helix. Alright, they're going to double spell to kill Dragon? Okay. They go to 9. Got some work to do, for sure. Nope. Just another land. Yeah, it should probably do it. That should probably do it. I can't believe this game is close, honestly. The fact that this game is close is actually ridiculous. Alright, so they go. They didn't play Edgar. They have Prismari Command available. Prismari Command, draw 2, discard 2, and shock me. Okay. We can't kill Niv-Mizzet. Well, actually, we can kill the Olivia. And that'll also kill the Niv-Mizzet. So we'll wait on that one. Of course, whatever they have, the thing they have in their hand is also a legendary vampire. So need to be aware of that. But Deafening Clarion. Okay. So they get lifelink. They get. I screwed up. You don't control the driver. Exile this creature. Oh, exiles. Never mind. Sure. So that resolves. Now we kill this. Both these get exiled. So no. Oh, I'm so stupid. I just said that. I just said that. Okay, sure, whatever. I should have killed it before combat, obviously. I don't think we were winning that game anyway. But I just said that Edgar was a legendary vampire, and then I need to be aware of that. That's fine, though. So I should have killed the Olivia before the attack happened, but they're still at 9 with the Cloithus in play, and we have almost nothing. So we'll probably still lose that game. That's okay. That's okay. All right, so we're gonna bring in Disdainful Stroke for sure. Dovin's Veto plays fine, I think, as does Crackling Drake. Justice Strike's also probably fine. We can cut down on Flame Blast Bolt, maximize Velocity. Velocity's kind of cute with the Crackling Drakes, actually. Rip Apart can definitely come out. Gotta cut some more cards here. Honestly, Mending being an instant's kind of cool, but Unholy Heat is also fine, but not insanely exciting. Maybe we just don't want to strike, honestly. We just like lean on our heats instead. We can't really afford to draw too many cards that aren't proactive. And then we got to cut 2 more cards here. I've been kind of liking cutting Mending. Veto's weird too, because like it doesn't actually counter their best spells. But it can counter like our removal spell or something like that as well. We're on the play. I think Veto's better on the play. I got these Mendings. This seems fun. Right, nothing here I want on the board. Not gonna try to bring it to Teferi's and play a control game against them because We only have one counterspell in our entire deck for Niv-Mizzet, and if Niv-Mizzet ever resolves, we get completely blown away as far as card advantage goes. No mystical disputes in the sideboard. Pretty interesting. Alright, so hand's fine. We can keep this. We are not going to cast Looting on turn 1, because we have nothing in our hand we actively want to discard. So we're in no rush. Also have these dragons available too, so could see turn 3 Dragon Looting. Hopefully we'll have Dragon Phoenix by then. Space. The final frontier. These are the voyages of Niv-Mizzet board. Alright, so Spirebluff Dragon. Hopefully no push this game. Hopefully no push this game. I mean, Helix is good too, I guess, but... The World Tree? Please don't push me. Don't push us, because we're close to the edge. I think they have push here. Spin that. Draw another one. Attack? No. I thought they were getting priority. They were not. Alright, so good start. Good start. They have Mardu Land and a Forest for now. And a Shipwreck Marsh. Can't cast Lightning Helix. And they don't find our removal spell fast. These Sprite Dragons are going to just kill them straight up. Barely gets there. We draw Dovin's Veto. Can't actually cast that one yet, though. So we're going to play Iteration here. Pump it. There's a Vantage that comes in tapped. Awkward. So put Iteration in our hand. We're going to ship this to our library. Take the Vantage. We're going to play Consider. Pump. Bin Spirebluff Canal. Sure, that's fine. Advantage, get it for 4. I will say that Dragon Rage Channeler would have been really good in either one of these games. Just the ability to put multiple threats in play early. A lot of their removal spells are 1-for-1s. So definitely not ideal. We haven't drawn a Channeler yet before turn like 6. But here we see Iteration. We see a Territorial Kavu. Pretty good card, but doesn't really affect the board too much. We binned a Unholy Heat. Only have a few of those left. Rest in peace. Alright, sure. So, this takes off an angle of attack, but we've already cut down on our looting effects anyway, and we have Crackling Drake available too, so I think I'm pretty happy just playing a Drake here. And just, rocking and rolling. Ideally, we draw a land and play a spell too. Sure, that's fine, dude. Casting Arclight Phoenix is not pretty, but it is certainly doable. Graces for 2, aka these are not dead. Close to dead. Almost dead. So we can look for our removal spell here, or just cast Arclight Phoenix, put them to 1. We have a good amount of looks. We also have this this Dovin's Veto available, which honestly is pretty good too. I think I'm pretty happy looking for a kill spell to try and kill them, and the fail state is leaving up Dovin's Veto, so cast Iteration. Sure. They weren't actually dead, but we'll take it. We'll take it. So Rest in Peace is in play. Rest in Peace right now turns off Channeler, Finale Promise, Maximize Velocity, Arclight Phoenix. Let's shave down on cards to make that not as punishing. So get rid of Finale and get rid of Velocity. It is a little awkward because I kind of want the Heats to kill the Kavus as well. But because of that, we'll bring in Justice Strike, I think. And I might want to bring in the old Niv boy. The old Niv-Mizzet, bring our own Niv-Mizzet. So options here are like, I mean, Mending's bad against Rest in Peace anyway. Teferi or Niv, I think, are our options here. Not worth trying to have Rip Apart to kill the Rest in Peace, because like it already did the damage. Rip Apart's pretty bad against every other card in their deck, so it's not very good. And we have enough non-graveyard cards where Rest in Peace isn't like the end of the world against us, you know. Darcy still scries. Arclight's still castable. That's really it. That's all it affects. So, not too bad. Do you want Teferi or do you want Niv-Mizzet? Teferi plays well with Stroke and Veto. Can tuck one of the larger creatures. Niv-Mizzet is certainly big. The problem with Niv is like we can just like play it and they just kill it. We draw a card. Yeah, I'm gonna bring in Teferi. They have a lot of removal spells. So, like we play Niv, they kill it. It's just a little expensive too. It's just one cheaper. And then this is fine. You know, maybe you have an argument towards like boarding out a looting and bringing in the Teferi. Try and play our Rest in Peace a little bit, but like we still, these cards still function, so. Again, ideally I'd like to draw Darcy on turn 1. We've had our dragons, Sprite Dragons, but just want to get on the board early against all of our tap lands. Not going to happen, but we'll keep. Bunch of grips to go. We draw a Hallowed Fountain. Right. Not a great hand. Definitely a little slow. Again, we definitely want to get in under them. Not really doing that yet. We draw Dovin's Veto. Sure. Play Vantage Dragon. Please not a push. They definitely have a push here. 100%. No? Alright, cool. Veto's more for a little bit later in the game. Temple Garden. Oh, it's Lightning Helix. Arclight Phoenix. Alright. So we're gonna play Iteration here. We're not super thrilled about it. This is not... Hand has not panned out very well. A lot of lands. A lot of lands. So we gotta cast this Consider. We'll put the Phoenix into our hand, I think. If they had Rest in Peace, they would have played it already, I think. They could have sequenced their lands a little differently to play that. Teferi is just, like, not particularly awesome here. And, yeah. So, hand. Deck. Castable. Play Spirebluff. Cast Consider. Looking for a looting. Man. We have drawn a lot of lands. We have drawn a lot of lands. They have their own iteration, sure. We do Delirium. 4-card Delirium. Straight. They draw a card. Get a Triome. It's pretty good. They have Niv next turn. Oh my god. Jesus. They have Niv next turn. We're probably in big trouble, but we are going to Iteration. I don't really see a need to leave a Veto here. We're just going to put the Heat into our hand and cast a Sprite Dragon. So we want this, we want that. Pay 2, play Dragon. They play Niv, we get to kill it and attack. Unfortunately, we'll probably lose to the cards they draw off it, but what can we do? What can we do? We've drawn basically only lands this game. We did board out 2 of our Mendings. So we only have 4 actual lootings in our deck, but we just have other threats, you know? We can draw other threats. There's Mari Command. Alright. It's pretty good. The cheap threats are also important with the vetoes. So Darcy and Sprite Dragon. Crackling Drake. Crackling Drake is good. But I mean, they didn't have, if they had a Niv, they probably just cast it last turn. We were tapped out. Pretty safe time to play it. So let's play Crackling Drake, I guess. Draw card. Let's say Steam Vents. Let's put in the Steam Vents untapped. This like semi bluffs having a mystical dispute for their Niv, while also leaving open Heat if they were to play a different creature, or actually just play Niv. There's a world where like they play Niv, we kill it, untap, draw looting, and just actually kill them next turn. And the 2 life is not going to matter at all. So it's like a little semi bluff here. Edgar, Charmed Groove. Okay. Honestly, Edgar doesn't matter too much. Draw Consider. Alright. Let's start there. Let's tap the Canal. Lance. A Kingdom for a looting. Lance! Oh my god. Can you please stop? I've had enough. I've had enough. Alright, I guess we're just going to cast Arclight Phoenix and once again leave up Unholy Heat and our bluff of, what's it called? Vanishing Verse. That's kind of cute. We could like kill our own Phoenix here, but it's not worth it. Get it for 4. And then we're not going to kill Edgar because it would make a token. Just going to say go. Man. Unmoored Ego. Okay. I mean, honestly, exchanging the Phoenix in my hand for a different card is pretty appealing to me, so sure. I'm honestly pretty happy about this, all things considered. As long as I draw another land. Draw another land here, I'll be pretty sad. I'll be pretty sad. So I assume they're naming Arclight Phoenix. And naming any other card seems to not be a very good use of this card, as far as like boarding it in, so... we shall see. Pretty interesting. So they chose Crackling Drake. So all that does is remove the Crackling Drakes in the deck that I may have not drawn anyway. Here comes Edgar. I don't know if I want to kill Edgar or not. Edgar makes 1/1 vampire lifelinkers every turn if we kill it, and then can grow them as well. I think taking 4 years is fine. Also, keeping a spell in hand for Arclight's pretty cool too, so we draw looting. Alright, so untap. Iteration's a pretty good draw. It's a pretty good place to start. Pretty good place to start. Cast Iteration. Sprite Dragon, another iteration, or consider. Okay. I mean, I love casting another iteration this turn. So, the question is, are we playing Sprite Dragon first? I think we are. Whatever. It's the same thing. We're just casting all spells anyway. So, alright, so play Sprite Dragon. Play Iteration. Another Veto. They saw our Veto in hand, too, so... Unholy Heat. Or land. So we're going to play the land here, I guess? A little awkward. A little awkward. We just play with Foundry from our hand, I guess. Maybe we just cast the Unholy Heat on Edgar. Which isn't, like, ideal, but it's just, like, 2 more damage for our cards. Yeah, let's put Veto in our hand. Library this. Put this here. Shock in the land. Cast this. This is, like, pretty big attack. Get it for 10. An uncontested 10. Alright, so this is like the turn here. If we get on tap here, we win the game no matter what. So, with double Veto, Phoenix Heat. So, this is the big turn. This is the big turn. Rest in peace. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't stop Crackling Drake. Crackling Drake is awesome. All it does is make our Heat deal 2 instead of 4. Deafening Clarion. Alright. Crackling Drake's still going to get there, it looks like. I'm going to get you. Doesn't matter if you unmoored ego his buddies. He's still going to get you. He's still going to get you. So we'll take that. We'll take that. Alright, round 4. Rocking and rolling. Phoenixing on the play. Haven't had turn 1 Channeler yet, have we? It's like probably one of the best cards in the format. Another stinker here. Just a 1-lander. Can't keep this one. Again, with an opt or something like that we can keep, but it's not going to work. So, mulligan. To a pretty good 2-lander. Pretty good 2-lander. We're going to keep this. What to discard is tough. This is a pretty good 7. I got to keep the lands. Got to keep Phoenix and Looting. Questions are Heat, Iteration, and Consider. Of course, we don't know what our opponent's playing, so Unholy Heat may or may not be good. No Companion would be the only information that we would have in that regards. Both Iteration and Heat are good. The Consider is the most replaceable card, I think. I can just go Foundry tapped on turn 1. I'm just going to get rid of the Consider. Most replaceable card. Let's play Foundry tapped and say go. You can reevaluate on turn 2 here. Island. Mist Caller. So... we get Merfolked here. We draw Maximize Velocity. That makes me fine casting Looting here. So, Mistcaller, of course, can stop my Phoenixes from coming back, but I can, of course, kill it as well. So, play Looting. Iteration land's actually great. Discard Velocity and Phoenix. Play Spirebluff Canal. And we'll just say go. I don't really want to kill this. This is the kind of you know, matchup we can kind of like be more of a control deck. If we just kill our stuff and then win the game eventually at some point. Don't really need to be fast because all of our removal spells and card advantage would be pretty good. Put in Breeding Pool. If they play a Lord here, I probably want to kill the Lord instead, you know? Time for one, sure. If they do actual nothing here, I'm going to kill the Mistcaller, but that would be pretty weird, I think. Alright, so we'll kill the Mistcaller. Revealing Mistbinder. They got their point in. Good for them, you know. Draw a card. Best card in the Merfolk deck, not even close. Except for the God. The God's really good, too. God's the best card. This is the second best card, but... The cards that draw cards, the cards that are actually good. The random, like, stupid lures don't do much. Sure. Alright, so untap and draw Inspiring Vantage. It's a little awkward, but... Play Iteration. We reveal Heat, Drake, Opt. Perfect. So we'll put the Drake into our hand. Put the Opt into the deck, and the Heat here. Just play Vantage. Just kill this thing. Not ideal, but like, just keep the board clear, so they're all our 2/2s are just 2/2s. Next turn, we have Crackling Drake if we want it. We have Iteration if we want it. We could also lead up to a Maximized Velocity Drake attack, or it's already on 5 power, so... There's Mistbinder. There's an Arclight Phoenix. Just casting Crackling Drake here is honestly just pretty good by itself. Like, it's huge, it blocks, and it just attacks them. Not gonna have much removal in the deck, obviously. Yeah, I'm just gonna play the Crackling Drake. Trying to set up a Maximized Velocity turn or something like that just isn't really necessary. Channeler's pretty good too. Like, Maximize can discard Phoenix and stuff, which is kind of cool, but like, I think we just play the Idiot and draw a card. You know, like, we don't really need to be tricky here, I don't think. Their deck's not super tricky. Their only real tricks are like Collective Company and maybe Merfolk Trickster. We have Sorcery Instant Creature in the graveyard at present. Marrow Reejery. Alright. And a land. Alright, so they have the 1-drop to tap my Drake and get in. So, now we're going to want to try and find another removal spell, which we got plenty of course. Alright, so, Steam Vents. I think we're just going to Iteration. We could play Channeler first, but that cuts our mana off a little bit. Play Channeler first, then play Iteration. I guess that's fine. Play Channeler. Play Iteration off this. Surveil will give us a Mending to the graveyard. Sure. Iterate into Drake, Looting, Consider. So I don't actually hit any great castables. So I guess we can get back Phoenix this turn. So we put the one of these into our hand. I want to cast Consider first, then Looting. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. But one in the hand, one here, one here. We're gonna cast Consider. Try and find ourselves another Phoenix if we can. We have one in the bin, right? Yeah, we're about to have 2. This might just be a lethal attack here, honestly. Surveil in the graveyard. In the graveyard. Channeler. Alright. Pay 2. Play Looting. In the graveyard. Looting draws. Alright, so discard 2. Wait, this is 8. 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think we're actually like 1 or 2 points short here. I guess we could die to an army of lords next turn. That kind of sucks. If I discard a spell here, that would be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's only 16. Yeah, we could die to an army of lords here, I guess. They're just like tapping our blockers, but let's discard Channeler, Phoenix. I might leave Phoenix's back on defense. So this is an attack for 9. And we just like leave 3 blockers back. They can obviously tap things with Reejery, but Reejery whenever you cast, they need to play 3 things. They could also play an Island Walk Lord. That'd be 4, 8, 12. They would need more than that to kill us, but there's no real point, I don't think, in attacking with the Phoenix and not leaving the blockers back. Because we have Maximize Velocity and Sprite Dragon and Flame Buzz Bolt and all these creatures. So don't double Lord me, basically. If I had used, you know what? I might have screwed up. Is if I had used the Maximize Velocity to discard the Phoenix rather than the Looting, I could have maximized the Channeler, and that would have been lethal. So I actually screwed up. It would have been the same amount of cards in Graveyard, but it would have been plus 4 damage. That was the number we needed to win, actually. So I screwed up. Kind of a weird card. Kind of an oddball kind of card. Just didn't really think it through. It's a cute one. Used to see play in Standard as like a one-of. When the Phoenix decks were legal in Standard. Obviously, they had many, many less tools than these Phoenix decks do, so particularly good with Crackling Drake, but does have utility otherwise. Alright, so luckily, didn't get punished for a mistake, which is great. And now we get to think about how we're going to board. So, Flame Buzz Bolt, Anger of the Gods. I think Crackling Drake is still just kind of great, honestly. Rip Apart, Justice Strike, Deafening Clarion, all awesome. I would say this is probably a controlling matchup. We just don't even bother with all the graveyard stuff. Let's cut the Finale, cut the Phoenixes, cut the Mendings, cut the Lootings, cut the Maximize Velocity, and we bring in the Teferis and the Niv-Mizzet, and just basically become an almost pure control deck here. We still have our Darcy's, which are still good. You know, the Scrying is pretty useful. Without Lootings now, we have no more card disadvantage, so like we're not gonna worry about that. You know, Mistcaller won't be annoying if they have like Grafdigger's Cage or something like that, or some like kind of Graveyard Hate. Cage would be weird because they have a company also, but now we just have a bunch of removal spells into Teferis, and Crackling Drake's still awesome. And Anger's obviously awkward with the Phoenixes as well. I wouldn't mind, Darcy plus Anger is a little awkward, but it's cheap, and cheap spells are great. You have a bunch of removal spells, kind of like this. They could be bringing in Mystical Dispute, which would be somewhat good against this plan, but I think that's still fine. I don't think I want to go as far as I could bring in Veto to try and like combat that. So, and we'll see where they're at for game 3. They have like a bunch of Mystical Disputes and no Graveyard Hate. Like maybe go back to Phoenix's on the play for game 3. See how long of a game we play too. So, yeah, sure, that's great. It's funny because now we're a control deck, so now we don't mind the 4-land kind of like interactive spell card draw end. All right, Unclaimed Territory, Shoreline Scout. Conjure away a Rejury for a tropical island, so probably a little land light. We draw Inspiring Vantage. I think we can play Op now. I wanted to play a tap land to preserve my life total, but now we drew a second untap land. We can just play Opt here. Freaking Tropical Island. Tropical Island. Conjured. I think Conjure mechanics are really cool. Shoreline Scout number 2. Okay. Alright. Interesting. And a Mistcaller. Sure. So a nice Mistcaller does nothing against us. Keep the heat. Always bring in the heat. It was a triple 1-drop draw, but advantage. Now we're going to play a tap. We drew advantage. Oh, it's so awkward. Alright, fine. So we'll play the Vantage. I would love to play a tap land here and just have Unholy Heat up to kill the Lord they play. But if we play a tap land, and then again, our Vantage comes in tap later anyway, so we'll just play Vantage now and just say go. There's also some merit to just playing Justice Strike this turn, which will allow us to play Iteration and Heat next turn as far as mana curve goes. So they play a Lord here, and then we strike it. I don't think we heat it. Cool. Let justice be done upon him. Take 4. Jeez, we draw a lot of lands in this deck. Alright, we'll play Iteration. I found the spells. I found the spells. All right. Clearly want to have this Anger of the Gods. It makes me sad to lose the Niv-Mizzet, but Anger here is good because they have a bunch of crappy ones you don't want to kill with a spot removal spells. So Anger to hand. And now the question is, do I want to even cast Consider? Is it worth 2 damage? I don't even know if it is. Like, we shotgun Steam Vents, cast Consider. Now Vantage comes in tapped. Anyway, we could also play the Vantage here and just leave up Heat for a Lord, and then we can Anger the rest of them. Oh, I might just want to Anger anyway. But taking 3, 6, 7, 8 next turn is a lot. Let's play Vantage as I go. So we lose Consider, which kind of stinks. But we've got Anger teed up. They clearly are short on lands, so it's actually a pretty big question. Like, they play a Lord this turn and attack for 8. What do I do? Looks like I just Wrath it and then Heat the next creature. There's another Mistcaller. Okay. If they have Spell Pierce here, we're going to lose the game. But them's the breaks, I think. Spell Pierce me. Oh my god. We actually just can't draw a spell. Spell Pierce me. Do it. I want you to do it. Alright, looking pretty good for us. We get the 4-for-1 off Anger of the Gods. Play Steam Vents tapped. We do have a lot of lands. We draw some spells, but we have a Heat for their next threat. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's the best one, actually. So now we have Sorcery Instant in the graveyard. Yeah, that's pretty bad for us. Alright. I mean, obviously, drawing spells would be cool. It's kind of like, you know, a thing I would like to do at some point. But, they probably have a Company in their hands. They've been stuck on lands. Makes sense. It's a card they would have left over. Yeah, pretty annoying, but what's the land count? It's like, it's 22 lands total. It's not that many, you know, like, obviously there are a lot of cantrips, so it feels to feel like more, but alright. Yeah, this is the best card in the Merfolk deck by a country mile. This card is actually seeing play in non-Merfolk decks just because the card is just good on rate, even without the Merfolk text. Master of the Pearl Trident. Alright, that's the card they drew, obviously. And Shoreline Scout. Okay. Well, we get to... We kind of want to save the Heat to kill this thing, but like we're so far from doing that. Oh, man. Our best draws here are probably just like Anger Clarion. So I'm just going to untap. Or land. Land's cool too. Land's cool too. Now we're just dead. So let's block this. Take 3. I guess we can like play Unholy Heat. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Their drawing wasn't even that good this game. It really was just like a bunch of 1/1s for the most part. But unable to capitalize because we've drawn about 1,000 lands. Alright, no blocks. They've now drawn 2 cards off this. A Commenda Speaker, sure. Oh, where were you last turn? Where were you last turn? Oh, no. Alright. We're dead. Alright, tough game. Tough game. We drew that last turn. We actually were in great shape. We could have killed the god. Wiped the board. But, alright. Tough game. Obviously, tough game. Still, I think mostly happy with our plan here. Again, no real reason to have Mending in our deck or Looting with no graveyard stuff happening. Obviously, like one of them would look great that game, but like that's just like that was just a, you know, an outlier kind of game. If you were to bring back in the Phoenixes, we got to bring back in the Lootings also. We got to cut a lot of cards. I think we just stay like this, honestly. We still have a somewhat aggressive stance with our Channelers and our Sprite Dragons. Then we just have a bunch of great control cards. Crackling Drake, Teferi. This is fine. This is fine. We'll just, like, not draw 11 lands this game, you know? They have missed callers and stuff for the Phoenixes and stuff, which is not worth not a fight worth fighting, I think. On the play. I think this is actually fine, given that we have turn 1 Channeler to find us our lands with Consider and Flameblast Bolts. I think we're going to keep this. This is actually fine. And then we have the option to upkeep Flameblast Bolts. Or Consider and scry for more lands. So... Perfect. Perfect. So, nice relic. It's almost irrelevant against us. It stops the Channeler, but Channeler still scries. So, we're going to upkeep... well, I guess if we upkeep Consider, we... Okay, been an on-land. Yes, it's good. Upkeep Consider. Scry. Or Surveil, whatever. Consider Graveyard. Then Resolve Consider. Teferi. Graveyard. Draw. Niv-Mizzet. So that was 4 looks at a land. That was the Surveil, the Scry, the Consider, and our draw step. And the funny part is, I think we're still okay here. They play a 2-drop. I upkeep Flameblast Bolted. I have 2 more looks at a land. And then if I draw a land, I've got Ripper Apart, trying to find more lands. If we have Deafening Clarion. The 1/6 drop in the deck, not the card you want to draw, or the 5 drop either. Honestly, when you're stuck on 1 land. But all right, so they didn't even play anything. Okay. Merfolk Trickster. Okay. I mean, sure. Just gonna cast Flameblast Bolts. That's a good reason to do that. And I get a Surveil. Iteration. I can't keep it. Just gotta keep a land. Alright. Get it for 1. It has lost its abilities. If they play God of Sea and Sky next turn, we're gonna lose. But I mean, what are you gonna do? It's funny, we could in theory like spike Delirium, I suppose, but there's Bark Channel. Commit Speaker, okay. They get a Lord too. Alright, we're gonna upkeep Heat this. And Surveil. That's not a land. Bin it. Shuffler's rigged. It's clearly rigged. Hey, there we go. Alright, so play land. We're not attacking into another Trickster here. So we're just gonna say go. Now we can somewhat cast our spells, maybe, possibly. Trickster, sure. Does feel like we are a little soft to the god. As a 3/4, it's like kind of hard to kill. All of our things do 3 for the most part, but alright, Relic me. Take an instant. We're still like kind of close to Delirium. I guess they can obviously activate the Relic to get rid of it, but no more instants though, so we have to draw land naturally next turn. Shuffler's rigged. Shuffler's rigged. You can see we're here thanks to untapped.gg that we're 44% to draw land. That's obviously been going up as the game's gone on, but all those, you know, double looks and misses, you know, mathematically impossible, clearly. Pearl Tribe, sure. Okay. I mean, that's not a land for Clarion. We could play Iteration here and look for land. However, we take a lot of damage if that's the case. Maybe we need to kill this match with the Pearl Trident. They could have like a... They could also have like a Mystical Dispute here. This is not... This plays around that. Bin it. Up to 47% to draw land. Aether Gust. I'm going to decline to put that on top. Okay. All right. You're up. So I think ideally here we are just drawing a land for Deafening Clarion. Just one of those games. Masterful Trident. All right. I mean, we're drawing live here. The land Clarion, if they don't have a counterspell or Aether Gust, is really good. They might have it though, based on how they've like played the game. But another relic. Oh my god! Please just draw an untapped land. No. Oh, come on. All right. Instant sorcery planes. How does it matter? So there's no card we can hit here that can actually kill one of these and have us stay alive through the Outwalk. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, folks. All right? If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Spirebluff Canal. Perfect. Right on time. All right, yeah, we'll keep that one. I don't know what we're going to hit off this, but... So even if we hit on Holy Heat, yeah, there's the Anger of the Gods you want. All right, they got us. All right. Yeah, because they have 3 unblockable Island Wall creatures, and we have no way to stop them. So, I mean, pretty tough games. This match it feels like a really good matchup, but sometimes they are the breaks, as they say it. Them the breaks. Them the breaks. We were in that game. So, wrapping up, obviously 2-2 is not an ideal result, but again, I think that match was a pretty big aberration, and then we lost to the Sacrifice. We drew a lot of lands, honestly. That's kind of a concern with the with any cantrip heavy deck. Is that because you see so many cards, the lands really come through. It's only 22 lands, but looting is supposed to help with that, limiting stuff like that. But deck was super sweet. We found Rip Apart to be relevant in multiple spots to kill an artifact or enchantment. Mending is a card we boarded out somewhat often, but mostly because we were just trying to hedge against graveyard hate. So we want to have less looting in your deck, but it was pretty solid. Clarion was cool on the board. Never got to cast Teferi, unfortunately, but seems very cool in theory for sure. So deck's super cool. Again, John Wagner's deck from the Hooglandia Open came in 11th place. Pretty cool take here on the more standard Arclight Phoenix deck. Definitely a highly competitive deck. So if you're a serious ladder player and you want to get your Phoenix on, this is a cool way to do that for sure. As always, there's a companion article to this video on CoolStuffInc.com, as there always is. CoolStuffInc.com. We do a video article Monday, written article Friday, free content every weekday on CoolStuffInc.com. No paywall. That's right. Get your free articles, get your free content, and check it out. And that's it. That's it for me. I'll see you all next week, folks. Thanks for watching. I'm Jim Davis, or CoolStuffInc.com. Promo code Jim5, 5% off your order, CoolStuffInc.com. I'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks.